so we've got our palette, and get ready for a doozy. This one might take a little while. We're going to make the concept art here. So if I'm laying out blocks, you can fast forward through it. In fact, I might do it for you. So we're going to start. We're going to start. We're going to fart. We're going to fart, and we're going to start by selecting our sky. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going to keep it. All right, so we're going to select the color that we want for the sky from that color palette that we made. I'm going to rename that. And then we're going to hit F for fill, and we're going to fill in that sky with that salmon, pink, orange, whatever you want to call it. And now we're going to make our first layer here, and we're going to make a block. We're going to use the rect tool here. And I'm just going to fill that in with that ground color. So why is it black? You don't know. Why is it? Oh. I don't know why that happened, but anyway, we're going to fill it in with purple. And there you go. We got a block. And we can also make, well, first I'm going to label this. I'm going to call it ground block 1. And I'm going to make a little reference character just to make sure that we're keeping everything in scale. So I made another layer here, and I'm just going to very simple little guy right here. He's doing his best. He's a little big. I'm going to Control T him, bring him down a little bit, and this is going to be roughly the scale that we're working with here. That looks pretty good to me. I might make him a little taller, I don't know, but that works. So we're going to go back to this ground block here, and if we hit R, we can just select it. T can move around. We can move the block, which is convenient. We can also copy, Control C, and Control V, and we could just keep hitting Control V, and we can make a nice little building landscape, little ground. Maybe he has to jump right there. And we can even stack these up. That's kind of cool. And if you want this to be the level of your artwork, that's totally fine. You can make a pretty cool game with some, some nice vibes with just blocks like this. It's been done before very successfully. But if you want to add detail, we can do that too. But we want to be a little bit more efficient than this. So if you've done Photoshop, you might know what's called smart objects, which is nice. It means changing one and we'll change them all. They have something different here. So what I mean is, if I want to change all these blocks here, if I go to this guy right here, right, and I want to make a ledge, if I want to like just delete this here and move that over, the selection mask, move it over, and if I want to do the same here, where even was I? And then I want to delete that as well. That's not symmetrical at all. Beautiful. I'll move that over again. Okay. And just delete. If I want to have that, that's nice and everything, is unsymmetrical as it is, but it's only one block, and then I have to do it to all of them. So that would be a very inefficient waste of time. So instead, what I'd rather do is make what's called a file layer. So I'm just going to click one of these blocks, and I'm going to hit convert, and I'm going to hit file layer. I'm going to hit this little folder icon, rename this as ground block 1, and I'm going to name it, I'm going to make it a KRA, and you'll know you're in the right place because your level 1 will appear. By the way, if you haven't already done so, make sure you make a file. I do it on my desktop just so I can see it. As you've probably seen in other videos, I have a very cluttered desktop, which is like an ADHD thing. You have to have everything in front of you so you don't forget it exists. It's like a lack of object permanence or something. I need everything on my desktop all the time. So I just put a file on my desktop, and I call it tutorial 3 because this is the third time I've tried to do this, and there's my level 1. So save it as a KRA and then hit OK, and now you see this little file here. So if I click on this file, if I click on that file, there it is, and now I can mess with this thing. So if I make like a little smiley face here, he's so happy, and I hit Control S, I'm so dumb. I forgot to do the other thing. Ignore that. You didn't see that. That didn't happen. Let me just get rid of all these. Okay, so if I have this guy here and I redo the whole level there, now they're all copies of this file layer. So if I do make that smiley face, Control S, now they're all smiley faces. That's what I was trying to show you. But anyway, they're all smiley faces because I changed the file layer, and that changed all of them because they're all the same file layer. Pretty simple, right? So that's going to save us a lot of time. Now we're going to try to make everything a file layer that we can. But obviously I don't want smiley faces like that in the game, so I'm going to erase that. And we'll do some detailing later. For now, I'm just going to, I don't know, I could show you a little something. Here we go. I'll make a little ledge here for you. Why not? Actually, no. I'll talk about that later. I want to tell you about non-destructible techniques later. So I'm just going to leave it alone for now, and we'll get back to that. So for now, I'm just going to drag these blocks around. And da-da-da. And actually, I'm a little bored with it just being one type of block, so why don't we make another one? We'll do it like this. I'm actually going to flatten one of these, flatten layer, and that makes it not a file layer. And I can now mess with this. So I'm going to take this guy here, and let's see. I'm gonna Control T. I'm going to rotate him like that. And maybe a little bit more. And now Control C, Control V, and I can mirror him. So I'm going to go. I made a new one. Here it is. If you didn't know. And I can go to Layer, and I'm just going to transform him horizontally. And so here he is. Voila. And now I have this weird shape, and I'm just gonna take all these three here, and I'm gonna combine them, Control E, and maybe I'll just like, I don't know, I'll cut it here. Maybe, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do either. Kind of try to center that. Sure, why not? Cool. This can be like bricks, I don't care. The player will make it make sense to them. Okay. So I'm going to combine those. Now I have a new little block here to play with, and I'm going to actually make that a little longer, maybe a little thinner. There we go. Cool. I have a different block, mixing things up, making things cool, making things magical. But before I start duplicating it, like I just did, I'm going to also save that as a file layer. And this time I'm going to call it ground block 2. Once again as a KRA, and boom, there it is. And I'm going to rename that ground block 2. And now I can copy and paste that willy-nilly. Just make things look a little bit more interesting. And we'll do this for most of our, file layers later. But I've always liked this shape because you can chain them together. Always found that to be cool. So there you go. Actually, we can leave that blank there. We'll actually fill in something later. So there's our ground. I'm going to group all those with Control G and call this my ground group. Or just shorten it to G group. How about that? So we got our ground group here, and this is where the player is gonna like jump around and stuff. And I'm gonna start working my way back. Actually, I'll work my way forward first. Why not? I'm going to make another layer, and it's going to be above the ground. You know what? No, I'll do that later. We're gonna do mid ground next. So this is gonna be called mid ground 1, or I'll call it mid block 1. And I'm just going to make another little square here, but this time it's going to be longer and thinner because we're fading into the background. Longer, like buildings look like taller as you go back, but skinnier, right? Because that's just how your eyes work. So we're going to thin them out a little bit thinner than the blocks in front of them. And we're going to work up this palette here. So we're going to go pretty close there and hit fill. It's kind of grayish, but that's all right. It'll work in the long run. So we're going to take that and we're going to start. Oh, before we disperse it, make sure we convert that. So convert it to file layer. Tedious. I miss smart objects. Anyway, mid block 1, and we're gonna do KRA, save. Okay, and we're gonna Control V it, fill in this gap here. Leave some spaces because we're gonna have other layers that we want to put stuff in. Cool. So we got our mid-ground group right there. We're just going to Shift G and call this M group 1 because we're probably going to have another mid-ground group right now. We're going to drag that below it because it's going to be closer to the sky. The farther down you are, the farther away you are from the viewer. So we're going to make another one here. This is, of course, going to be thinner than the group before it, and a little taller. And we're going to pick something, excuse me, we're here. We want to pick something a little bit farther, so that works. Ugh. I'm just going to keep telling myself this is going to look better later. I'm going to get rid of that palette. It's in the way right now, so I'm going to put that there. Oh, before I start getting too crazy, I'm going to call this M2 block 1, mid-ground 2 block 1, and I'm going to convert that again to a file layer. So much fun, so tedious. Boom. Okay, and now I can safely drag this around. Again, we can create little. Oh, you know what? Let's be smart here. Let's not be stupid. We have this this block here, and we could make like this whole scene the way we did these other 2 layers, or we could be smart and we could group them. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to take these and I'm going to cluster them like this, and make another one here, maybe another one here, and I'm just going to make this one object. So I'm actually just going to highlight all of these and Control E them, which has remove the smart object thing. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to delete this in block 2. I don't really need it. And I'm going to now rename this M2 blocks 1. And I'm going to convert that instead. File layer. And this will save us a little bit of time. M2 block 1 and KRA. I wish there was a way to make it automatically just save as KRA. That'd be nice. And now, you know, we can mess with that whole cluster there. So I'm just going to do that, save us a little bit of time. And as I said, we can do a lot with that. You can make some very interesting patterns. Cool. All right, let's group all those. Control G, M, group 2. And then we're going to do the same thing. Let's get our color palette back here. And we're going to go a little bit higher here. I'm going to go kind of high there. And we're going to make, yet again, another block. So this is, of course, going to be longer and taller. Or it doesn't really have to be that long because the bottom is going to be blocked out. But we're just going to fill that in with our, first make a layer. Don't be stupid like me. There we go. And so I'm going to first make a cool little cluster here. And I'm going to merge those, Control E, and I'm going to call this my M2 group, or I'm going to call it M group 2. How about, did I already do that? Am I trip? What am I doing? What is this? That's my group. This is my group 2. Oh, so this is my background. Okay, background. We'll call it back 1. Because I'm not sure if I'll have another background. Block 1. And I'm going to convert that to a file layer. Back 1, block 1. Oh, I just did this dumb thing. Make sure it's a KRA. And now we can, you guessed it, start messing with it. I don't like how high that's going, but that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that. I don't like how repetitive that is either, but okay, get rid of this. So as you go in the background, there's going to be less gaps in between. That's just a little artistic thing there. And now I can group all these, Control G, call this back 1 group, or stick to the naming convention, B group 1. How about that? Now we have a group, and so with all these groups, I can actually select all of them at once. I'm going to bring them all down a little bit. They're all a little bit too high for me. Bring my dude down too. There you go. So he's going to be hopping around here and hopefully he makes the clearing. We'll do all the animation stuff in the game engine, don't worry. So there's our, actually I'm going to bring that up a little bit. There's our city. Isn't it beautiful? Hopefully you've made yours. I'm going to also add a foreground to this, a little darker in the near future when you guys come back. But that's a good place to stop for now. I need to eat and live life. So thanks for stopping by. Hope you liked it.